Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on our channel. In this video, we are going to start another problem in our DC series that will be going to be Fibonacci series. So I think everyone must be aware about this Fibonacci series. This is nothing but the nth term in the Fibonacci series is given by the sum of its previous two terms in the particular series. So the starting terms are always 0 and 1. F of 0 is always 0 and f of 1 is always 1. That's where we start the things with. And after that, every number is determined by the sum of its previous two terms. So if we try to get the third term, we have to add 0 and 1. We get 1. That's why the third term is 1. Similarly, if we want to get the second or the fourth term, we have to add up the previous two terms, that is 1 and 1, so we get 2. So in this way the series goes on, and it's very easy to uh, understand how the series is working. But our problem is to print this particular series using the programming logic that we have learned so far. So how can we do that? Before that, we have to uh, assign the variables and initialize the series with 0 and 1, because we know that the series always starts from 0 and 1. So we take two variables a and b, then we assign them into variables for the particular values, and after that we can start the series and we can understand how the logic goes. So try to understand here. Let us consider 0 as a and 1 as b. For every two numbers, the subsequent number or the term is determined by the sum of the current two numbers. So we start off with two numbers. So to get the subsequent term, we have to add them up. So we take another variable c that gives us the subsequent number or subsequent term of the series. That's why we take c as another variable, and c does the sum of a and b to calculate the next term. Now, notice one thing. C is our next term. So to determine the next term of C, the next term of C is nothing but after this one, we have 2 over here. To determine this next term, we don't need this 0 or A anymore. We have to shift the variables by one place. Now, B and C are our newest terms of the series, B and C. So we have to use B and C to calculate the next term. Should we assign another variable d to get the sum b plus c, then another variable e to get the sum of d plus c? It will be quite complicated, right? So what we do is that we use the same particular variables, but we reassign them to their new values. Like in this case here we don't have any work or any business with 0 after we determine this c value or the newest term in the series. After that, we have no business whatsoever with this 0. So we can simply shift this a variable to b plus and shift this b variable to c place, because we need b and c value right now to get this next term in the series. So instead of declaring a new variable, we just assign b value to a value so that a moves one place, and c value to b value so that b moves one place. And in the next iteration, in place of a and b, we will have the values of b and c. So we can continue the successive iteration for each uh, each term, and we can calculate the successive terms in each iteration. Getting my point? Don't worry about the problem if you are not getting it right now. We will do the full dry run and implement the code in the upcoming moments of the video. So if you're not getting it, just try to dry run it yourself or try to write it down on pen and paper. But don't worry, we will cover this in uh, upcoming moments of this video. In this video, not another part. This will be a one part video, so nothing to worry about. So our logic is that we have to print a inside the loop. We have to do this same particular task over here. We have to find the sum of a and b to get the next term, and then we have to move the a variable and b variable by one place. And also we have to print a, because a is our uh, consecutive terms in the series. So we have to print a so that our series gets printed along with the implementation of the logic. So how the loop goes? The loop will be from 1 to n. We have to run the loop from 1 to n times. Uh, you can run it from 0 to n minus 1 or 1 to n, but the loop has to run n times exactly, so that we get the nth number, or we can print n number of the Fibonacci series. Inside the loop, first of all, we have to print the a value, which is nothing but the first term of the series, and in the second iteration it will be second term of the series. In the third iteration it will be the third term of the series. So the a value is nothing but the ith value of the ith iteration. Getting my point? And after printing the value or the term, we have to calculate the value of C or the next term by adding up the value of A and B and then move A by one place and move B by one place. This is the simple algorithm which we are trying to implement. We can, of course, do it by recursion and other easy methods, but as we have not covered the recursion part yet, I am not going into that solution. But once we cover that recursion, I will try to bring another video by solving this Fibonacci problem using recursion. But for now, we are going by this approach. So this is our algorithm. Now let me show you one dry run of this algorithm. So you can understand the concepts better. Now, suppose we have to print or we have to find the nth element of the Fibonacci series. So this is our Fibonacci series where f of 0 is 0 and f of 1 is 1. And the series goes on like that. We have to print the fifth Fibonacci number. And for that, how many iterations we require? We require 5 iterations because we already know the loop runs from 1 to n. So in the first iteration, the value of A is 0 and B is 1 because we have taken the initial value as 0 and 1. And in the same iteration, we have to calculate the next value or the next term. We assign it to C and the next term is calculated by A plus B, that is equal to 1. And then we have to move A and B. So this is the main algorithm or the main agenda of our algorithm. We have to rinse and repeat this same thing throughout the whole program. We have to determine the next term and move A and B. Determine next term, move A and B. Determine next term, move A and B. This is all we are going to do inside the loop. So in the first loop, we determine the next term, then A and B was 0 and 1. We move A and B by one place. So now B value is held by A and C value is held by B. Getting my point? In the second iteration, A value and B value is 1. We calculate the next term, move A and B, and A is 1, B is 2. Next iteration, A value is 1, B value is 2. Calculate the next term, C is equal to 3. Move A and B by one place. So A is currently 1. It will be holding the value of B. That will be equal to 2. So A is holding the value of B and B is holding the value of C because B is also moved by one place. Getting my point? Then in the next iteration, A value is 2, B value is 3 because in the previous iteration, A value was 1, B value was 3. So in the next iteration, we also get the same initial values. A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3. So we calculate the next term, move A and B. Calculate next term, move A and B. Now, after the fifth iteration, what will be our result? Just check the series. What is the fifth term of the Fibonacci series? This is zeroth term, this is 1th term, this is second term, this is third term, this is fourth term, this is fifth term. So f of 5 is equal to 5. So in the fifth iteration, in which variable we got our fifth value? That is equal to A because we have already discussed after nth iteration, f of n value will be contained by variable A and f of n plus 1 value will be contained by variable B. Getting my point? So this thing we have to remember because we have to know that which variable contains which value in which iteration, because according to that we will be returning the values. Suppose if you return B over here, so instead of the fifth element it will be returning the sixth element of the series, so our output will be wrong even though our logic is correct. Getting my point? So now let's move into the code editor and code it out. So what's our logic? Step 1. So what is our step 1? We have to initialize f of 0 as 0 and f of 1 as 1 because we know this value are fixed for every Fibonacci series. So we take a variable A as 0 and another variable B as 1. Now inside the loop, what we have to do? Second step is loop from 1 to n. So we take a loop from 1 to n. I plus plus, that's our loop. Inside the loop, what we have to do? We have to calculate the next term and move A and B. So this is our job inside the loop. As we have seen in this dry run, determine the next term, move A and B, determine the next term, move A and B. So that is going to be our primary job inside the for loop. Getting my point? So how can we determine the next term? We determine the next term by taking a variable C, which sums the A and B sum is nothing but our next term. Then we have to move A by one place and B by one place. Now which value we have to return? Which value we have to return? Because we are running the loop for n times and we have to return the nth term, and which value contains the nth value of the series after nth iteration? Yes, the answer is the variable a. Let me write a comment line over here so that you can understand. Variable a contains the nth term of the series after the nth iteration. So we have to return the value, that is return a. Now let me run the test cases and check if our solution is correct or not. As you can see, all the test cases have been passed. Now let me submit the solution. And as you can see, it is passed and our solution is absolutely correct. And I hope you like this video. If you have any doubts regarding this video or any previous video, you can reach me out in the comments. I will be happy to answer your questions. Till then, keep learning. Thank you.